edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're going to cover the gear used at Red Oktober 2018. What you see me wearing right now is what I wore for Red Oktober 2018. Now, to be straight up, Red Oktober was a match that you could do with your rifle and one or two spare magazines and your back pockets as magazine holders. Matter of fact, I saw a lot of people do it and it was very successful for them. I chose to run this rig more for the experience of doing it and kind of have the immersion and test this rig out to see if I had it set up in a way that would actually perform in the field or a match competition environment. I'm happy to say this rig did perform. I am no fan of British 58 pattern webbing. You can check out this video down below where I tested along with some DPM camouflage. And one of the things I do not like about this canvas duck that it's made out of is in a moisture environment, it sucks up water, which means it tightens up and it gains weight. Not things you want in your 782 gear. However, in this match environment, being in Utah, normally an arid high desert environment, except for the 2 days of Red Oktober where there was plenty of rain to go around. Luckily we didn't get caught in any of it. This rig actually performed. Now we're going to go over it in detail and show what parts I've left as normal and what parts I've departed from the British pattern and added American accoutrements to it. One of the first questions you may ask yourself is, if you chose to run an Israeli pattern rifle in a Kalashnikov based match, why on earth would you use British pattern webbing? And it's really simple. It comes down to these two pouches right here, the left and right magazine pouches. And yes, they're literally designated left and right. And that's because these pouches are deep. Their intent of these pouches is that every infantryman in his section is carrying a couple extra magazines for the Bren gun in the section. Golani magazines or Galil magazines hold 35 rounds. That means they're longer than an AR magazine, significantly longer. And as such, they don't fit as well in AR pouches. Also, the magazine, go back here and do a close-up, has these reinforcing lips at the top, the lip here at the front where you rock in the magazine, and the lip where it catches the magazine release. And all those features combined with its length make for a fact of a magazine pouch, or a magazine that's not compatible with a lot of pouches. Now, the nice thing about the 58 pattern webbing and this pouch being universal to be used to all the magazines in the British Army at the time it came out in 1958 is that it's a very deep pouch. Matter of fact, it's a bit deeper than these Galil magazines, so they were a perfect fit. I get 4 in each pouch. Well, like we do in all our reviews of 782 gear and LBE here on the channel, let's start at the top, and that's with the suspenders. Suspenders come down the front, they connect to specific sections here on the magazine pouches. So the straps, or excuse me, the suspenders dictate where your magazine pouches go. And as you can see around the back, they have this cross member piece here which is padded, and it has a little knob here for connecting your entrenching tool. The straps in the back run down to the back of the belt. Now the straps here on your shoulders are nice and wide. They do distribute the load quite well. I've seen a lot of pictures of British troopies in the field, and they'll put extra padding on here, wrap it with electrical tape, and make it a little thicker and more comfortable. I have not found the need to do that. Also, I have not lived out in the field for extended periods of time with this webbing, so I'll defer to them on that one. So the first pouch we come to here is a USGI Alice pouch for pistol magazine. And Red Oktober did not have any pistol stages, but I chose to keep it on here because when I run this rig in the field, I do carry a pistol, specifically a SIG 226 in 40 S&W. The next pouch we come to is the left magazine pouch. Now the magazine pouch is closed by this piece of material fitting through these two loops. You pull it out and it pops free, which is nice. You can get it open quickly. You cannot close it quickly, and the flap is just that, it flops all over the place. So it's not very good about retaining your mags once it's opened. As you can see here, I have 4 pouches in here, or excuse me, 4 magazines in this pouch, and this was nice. They fit perfectly. It's a good fit for this rifle. The only detriment is being this far down in the pouch, they're not that easy to grab. So if you look at my videos on stage 4, when I move from the first plank to the second plank and do a preemptive reload, I get the magazine out of the rifle very quickly, but I'm very slow to get the magazine out of the pouch and into the rifle. So that's one of the detriments of the system. And it's one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of British 58 pattern webbing. While the pouches are generous and they'll hold just about anything, on the other thing, they're not quick and they're not particularly good at retaining what's in them. Next part of the pouch here is you have a frog mount for the bayonet. Now this is an FNFAL bayonet. Which would be correct if I was running an FNFAL and 58 pattern, because the British ran the SLR. A version of the FAL would be correct. However, it's not correct for the Golani, but I don't know where to get a Galil bayonet, so it's better to have a knife than not have one. Moving along here, the British canteens that this particular rig came with when I got it were freaking nasty. I mean, there was no chance of even thinking about reclaiming them and reusing them. So I pitched them and replaced them with good old US style canteen pouches and canteens. And we'll flip this rig over on the inside and look at the mounting systems and how it interacts with the British system. Next you have these two pouches, which the British call kidney pouches. They are basically used for holding rations. I left this one empty. And they're two pouches, but they are connected together in the middle, so you don't have a choice of only running one. You have to run both. This other one here on the right, I went ahead and put a small first aid kit in, which I ended up having to use out there at Red Oktober. Check out stage 7. And continue around their belt. Like I said, the canteens, everything I said about the canteen on the left applies to the right. Here on the right side is the right magazine pouch, of which it has this little pouch here. I choose to run a small administrative flashlight in it, but its intended purpose was to hold the cleaning kit for the SLR rifle. And last but not least, another USGI Alice pistol magazine pouch. Alright, now we flip the rig over and we're looking at the inside part that's against your body. And this is where we'll notice the difference in attachment systems. Now you can see that USGI Alice clips fit on the belt just fine. And I would go ahead and say, if you have the option of switching out your British equipment for US equipment, you should by all means do it. I mean, the belt and suspenders are okay. Everything else goes down from there. These kidney pouches for rations, they attach by flipping these little straps over and then running another strap through them to keep them in, basically by a friction. And it works for the pouches on each side. The magazine pouches, and if I was using the canteen pouches, have this clip system here that fits into these little sockets around the belt. And as you can see, this one's come out, doesn't stay in. And if we focus in on the other pouch, and as you can see here as we go close up on the other pouch, this hook and system that held it to the belt got bent and came out, which caused the bottom to come out. And as I was running stage 3, this thing was just flopping all around. I had to do a somewhat expedient field repair on it with some 550 cord. And I'll probably just end up leaving it like that because it seems to be working better than the original metal hook clips, whatever you call these things. In conclusion, what's the best thing you can say about British 58 pattern webbing? Well, it's functional, and that's about where it ends. It'll get the job done, but just about everything is better. US Alice gear is completely better in every way. The old US 56 pattern Vietnam type H-harness gear, better in every way. Now this is better than its European counterparts who in the 50s were still using basically leather straps and leather belts and leather pouches. Yes, this all beats leather hands down. However, as far as functionality goes, no, it's not that functional as the US equivalents. Which you will find if you compare US gear to other countries' gear of equal time periods, you will generally find US gear to be best. We are out there in front when it comes to good 782 gear for our troops. This gear is not without merit though. It is, as I said, it's functional. It also has the ability to interface with US Alice gear, so you can upgrade like I did. Went ahead and put US pistol mag pouches on, went ahead and put US canteens on, which are much better than their British equivalents. These magazine pouches that come with it, they work really good for the Galil Golani system due to the length of the magazines. If that's not an issue for you, then ditch these pouches and go get something else. The kidney pouches in back, they're there, I'm using them. Probably going to replace it with a US GI style butt pack sometime in the future when I get around to it. Basically what it comes down to is any US gear is better than this gear. Another true advantage here of British 58 pattern webbing is that it's inexpensive. I got this set and actually another set from a surplus online dealer who was offering 2 sets $22. So for that price, it is kind of hard to argue with what you're getting. It's like they say, buyer beware. Sets that I got 2 sets. This one, pretty good condition. The other one had seen a lot of field use and was practically unserviceable. There's lots of this 58 pattern webbing out there. If you just need a cheap backup set, it's not the worst choice ever. Picking up canteens for it, because the ones you get with it will suck. Picking up some US style canteens is very easy at any gun show or surplus dealer around, and US canteens are very inexpensive. So if you need a cheap backup set, a loaner set, a set to get you through till you find out something better that you want, yeah, sure, go for this. If you're reenacting, well, absolutely, you must go for this. But otherwise, British 58 pattern webbing as a whole is just to be avoided because there's better options out there. We hope you found this edition of Pegasus Test helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for future reviews of 782 gear.